What's good YouTube? Today I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be comparing basketball YouTubers to NBA players. This is pretty self-explanatory and I feel like a lot of you guys are going to enjoy this one. For this video, I will be pretty much comparing about 20 plus YouTube hoopers regardless of their skills to NBA players who I think they resemble the best. This will obviously be based on playstyles and how good these people are in all aspects of basketball. Also, this video will be determined by how good these YouTubers are currently, as it helps me visualize their skill level as of today. Now without further ado, let's get into it. First of all, there's no better way to start this video than with Devontae Friga. I mean, the guy probably had the most impact on the community this year, if it's either beating NBA players 1v1 or successfully doing Frigmas. With that in mind, considering how good he's gotten as a player, I'm comparing Devontae Friga to Devin Booker. In my opinion, this is really spot on. Their offensive arsenals are really smooth and both can be reliable in the final seconds. I mean, to go even further, these two have deadly dribble combos, have similar shooting forms, are elite finishers, and can get in that zone whenever they want to. Also, both Friga and Booker can get really petty and disrespectful at times, which makes this comparison pretty accurate. Now, coming up next, we got the one and only Marcellus Howard. As mentioned in all of my videos, we know how skilled this man is. I mean, he's played college basketball at the highest level. The guy's super quick, has great pace, knows when to make the right pass, and just like Friga, can get in the zone whenever he wants to. Therefore, Marcellus kind of reminds me a ton of Mike Conley. Not only are they both lefties too, but they literally have similar movements on the floor. Both have that killer crossover, can get to the cup with ease, finish through tough coverages, and shoot from downtown. I know some may compare Cell to Isaiah Thomas instead, but I feel like Cell is more of a pass-first type point guard and not as ball dominant. Also, Cell has more similar defensive tactics to a guy like Conley, so yeah, pretty reasonable comparison in my opinion. Next up, we got Cash Nasty. Even though this year hasn't been quite the best for him, he's still a decent basketball player. We know that he's a defensive first type player that takes pride on hustling. He doesn't focus on doing the fancy stuff and instead likes to do the little things. He likes to get in his opponent's head mainly and do whatever it takes to win. Also, when he has the proper form, he could hit that top of the key 3-pointer or even a wing 3-pointer at times. With that in mind, there's no better comparison for Cash than Patrick Beverley. I know Cash may be tired of this comparison, but year after year, it keeps being more and more accurate. I mean, both are literally pesky defenders and share the same goal of testing the opponent's mental side of things. Both are obviously not the most talented as well and could have disappointing moments like Cash did in the HOH tournament and Beverley with the Lakers so far. However, when they're both focused and know what they're doing, they can hit the occasional 3 as well and getting altercations if they need to. Moving on, we got the sharpshooter himself, B. Ellis. It's crazy to see the amount of growth that he's shown this year alone, and there's a reason why he's a coach. Dude knows a ton about the game of basketball, especially the fundamentals. When he's on the floor, he's an incredible shot maker and can hit some crazy contested shots. Not only that, but he can read the opponents well on defense and facilitate. With that in mind, I'm comparing B. Ellis to Brandon Jennings. If you're an OG NBA fan, you know how good Jennings was before injuries. Back when he was in Milwaukee, this dude literally played like B. Ellis does right now. Insane shot making, have similar moves in their arsenal, and are just exciting to watch. They both really know how to break ankles too, and it's just crazy to see how similar these two are. Up next, we got FTC, aka Flight Reacts. Obviously, we know Flight is not the most talented hooper at all. In fact, he's probably at the bottom when it comes to basketball. Year after year, Flight just somehow becomes worse and worse as a basketball player. He's still taking horrible shots, airballing about 3 times a game, missing layups, and getting cooked on defense. With that in mind, my comparison for Flight is the one and only Marcellus Huertas. Now, if you're watching Flight, you probably don't even know who this guy is, and you probably call him a nobody right now, but he really does play like you. Huertas has really bad shot selection like Flight, can sometimes do smart plays, and also does this dumb football move on defense. Honestly, I really can't believe I found someone doing this in the league, and well, that's why Huertas has been out of the NBA for a minute. All jokes aside though, when both Flight and Huertas are focused, they both have similar playmaking styles, can finish acrobatically once in a while, and can hit that 3-pointer when they're open. Both also hustle a ton for loose balls despite not being the most talented, which is respect. Overall, this is just too good of a comparison to not mention in this video. Next up, we got Devin in the lab. We all know that he's among the best in the community, as he personally made the top 2 in my top 50 YouTube basketball list. I mean, the guy's a professional trainer and just knows how to play the right way. Dude has one of the best hesitation moves that I've ever seen and one of the most consistent jumpers in the community. Also, he's a great passer and very unselfish in a team setting game. With that in mind, Dev's comparison is Chris Paul. Even though both are not the tallest at all, they can still get the job done every single night. They're incredible floor generals, have insane handles which can sometimes lead to ankle breakers, and love that mid-range shot. Up next, we got J-Lu. As we all know, he's one of the newest hoopers in the community, but he has popped off thanks to his insane basketball skill. He's by many people considered the shiftiest hooper right now. Just like Def, he has a crazy hezzy, can shoot from outside, and finish nicely with his inside hand. Overall, he has a ton of sauce on the court, which leads to the comparison of Jamal Crawford. Honestly, this one's probably the most accurate comparison in this video. I mean, like I said, both have insane handles that'll make someone leave the gym, have that shake and bake in their arsenals, and also have similar set points in their shots. Now moving on, we got YPK Ray. Just like J-Lu, he's also one of the newest hoopers and he's super nice at basketball. He's by far the fastest player in the community and also one of the most athletic that we've seen. I mean, there's a reason why he absolutely destroyed everyone in the HOH tournament. He's an incredible finisher at the rim and can even dunk as well. With that in mind, YPK reminds me a ton of Bulls Derrick Rose from back in the day. Even though he isn't as athletic as him obviously, YPK still has the same offensive scheme as Derrick Rose. They're both finished first type players on offense who can also play make and hit that mid-range jumper when it's needed. Next up, we got Nas. Some people watching this may be unfamiliar with his game, but man, Nas is super tough. He's appeared in a ton of Wild Hunt videos and he's probably the most complete player in the community. He's a two-way athlete that can score in many ways. He doesn't rush his moves at all and knows where to be at all times. With that in mind, my comparison for Nas is no other than Anthony Edwards. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone as Edwards is also a super big guard. Him and Nas pretty much have similar offensive styles and are super athletic. They can really put on a show at any time, and I would love a collaboration one day between these two. Now moving on, we got Slim. Of course, he's mostly known for being an athletic freak. Dude can pull off some wild dunks and put on a show for the crowd. However, he's not just a dunker. He also can shoot pretty well from downtown and can block shots with his high jumps. With that in mind, my comparison for Slim is Kelly Oubre. Not only do these two kind of look alike, but both are super athletic. They have similar dunking mechanics and love those tomahawk dunks to be exact. This is also spot on due to the fact that they can both heat up from 3 whenever they want to. We've seen Oubre have these random nights of knocking down 5+3s, which Slim could pull off occasionally. Next up, we got Ryan the Crash Dummy. Obviously, we know that Crash is mostly known for his defense. Due to his active hands and fast feet, he can make a lot of great contests and give you nightmares. However, he's also a pretty good shooter, especially from the top of the key. He can finish pretty well inside if that's not available and likes to use his strength to his advantage. Therefore, I'm comparing Crash to Marcus Smart. I mean, they're both elite defenders that love to trash talk. Also, they can knock down 3s consistently and help you win games. If Ryan just trained on a consistent basis, I really wonder how better he could be. Up next, we got the big hooligan, Chris White. Now, Chris is also someone that improved tremendously from the first time that we've seen him. I mean, back then, he was mainly just a post scorer that will give you some energy. However, he's more than just that right now. Not only can he move faster on the court, but he can also shoot and handle the ball like a guard. That right there helps him to facilitate as a point center, which leads me to the comparison of DeMarcus Cousins. Obviously, we know Boogie has sadly fallen off recently due to injuries, but back then, he really had that hooligan vibe that Chris White has. He could shoot, get physical in the post, and handle the ball when needed. You really cannot convince me otherwise that these two do not play alike, and I'm happy to see the progress from Chris White. Next up, we got Emili. Of course, he's one of the craftiest guards in the community. He can hit really tough shots, has a deep bag, and loves to facilitate for his teammates. Also, Emili can really heat up once he is in that zone, which leads me to the comparison of Kemba Walker. Just like Boogie, Kemba has sadly not been the same player these past few years, but during his Hornets days, he really had that Emili offensive playstyle. When healthy, both have that deadly crossover, a smooth yet similar jump shot, and also showcase great passing skills. All of this combined really makes these two extremely fun to watch. Now moving on to one of the last breakdowns in this video, we got my man Uncle Scoop. This guy is another upcoming YouTuber in the scene, and let's just say that he's really on another level. Scoop can shoot, finish incredibly at the basket, and give you that dog on defense. He's among the most physical and most skilled players in the community. Therefore, I'm comparing Scoop to John Wall, who literally plays just like him. I mean, they both have the same exact jump shot, have similar finishing habits, and are super aggressive on defense. Also, both can get in your head easily, making this comparison pretty spot on. Now, to finish out this video, we got Cam So Smooth. Of course, we know Cam as also one of the most skilled players in the community. Really well-rounded guard that can finish through contact and shoot pretty well. He's super explosive as a whole, which leads me to the comparison of Ja Morant. Like I said, Cam is an athletic talent just like Ja. Also, both are streaky shooters that could create for others. Overall, it's crazy how much the future holds for both of these guys. Now, I just completed about 16 player comparisons and I hope that you guys have agreed for the most part. However, I still left quite a few people out. Therefore, I'm going to do some honorable mentions real quick and mention 16 additional comparisons. For Rudy Gay, I'm comparing him to Jamal Murray. For Scar, I'm comparing him to Deron Williams. For TJ's Kyrie Irving. For Fambi, Jaylen Brown. For Will Tunin, James Harden. For Moon, Tyrese Maxey. For Duke Skywalker, Jeremy Grant. For Bionic Bruce, Blake Griffin. For Ty Glover, Michael Porter Jr. For Diesel, DeMar DeRozan. For Nathan, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. For Pontos, Domantas Sabonis. For D. Allen, Kawhi. For Malcolm, Kevin Porter Jr. For D-Bones, Bradley Beal. And last but not least, Jay Jones for Jrue Holiday. And that pretty much concludes this video. What do you guys think of these NBA comparisons? Do you think they're accurate? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And turn on those notifications so you know when I upload any new banger. I hope everyone has a great day. Peace out.